All right, welcome back to the channel. Dan here from Northern Tesla. Today we are talking about route planning. This is episode 2 of the Northern Tesla Icelandic adventure. Let's get into it. All right, so this is episode 2. We're talking about route planning. Basically, all the research I'm going to have to do to kind of figure out what I'm going to do over there, what I'm going to see, what I want to see, as well as, you got to figure out the charging, because when you're driving a Tesla, that is one thing you have to take in consideration. So we're going to talk about all that, and I'm going to need your help at the end of the video. So please stick around because I'm going to need some help. Now, I am not a traveler by any stretch of the imagination. I've been to a few places like in the Caribbean and stuff like that, but, places I've already been and there wasn't much exploring going on. So this is something completely different. I've never gone solo traveling. I've never gone basically backpacking or, basically on a road trip in a foreign country in a Tesla, camping in that Tesla. So this is completely new to me. So I want to do as much planning and research as I can. So I'm going to go over all the kind of the tools I've been using to do all that research in this video. So before I do though, please take a second and subscribe. I really want you guys on this journey. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss videos. All right, so let's get started with basically how I'm going to route this. Now, when you land in Iceland, Reykjavik is the capital and where the airport is. It's at the western southern point of the island. And from there, you have two choices. You can either go around the island. Basically, there's a highway 1, which covers the entire island. And it goes in a loop. It's also known as Ring Road. Now, the other option to that is point to point. That would cover basically, I would go drive on the southern coast, kind of hover around there, go to the eastern end of the island, and come back. So the benefits of that, or not benefits, but benefits of Ring Road is that, you get to see the entire island. It might take some while. So I'm going to do some research to see exactly how long it takes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go in Google and see how long it's going to take me to do the Ring Road. So we're going to start off in the capital, which is Reykjavik. So we're just going to do some directions. I can't do Google to get to do the Ring Road on its own, so I got to put in some waypoints. So we're going to do Vik, which is a town on the southern coast. Okay, so we're on the southern coast, so then we're going to add a Hoth, which reminds me of Hoth in Star Wars, which is kind of fitting for Iceland. Then we're going to add a Curie. I hope I'm saying this right, which is on the northern end, and then we're going to come back to Reykjavik. So all in all, that is 16 hours and 52 minutes. So that seems like a lot of driving. It's 1,300 kilometers. So I only have 4.5 days. I'm landing Monday morning and leaving Friday afternoon. So that's 4.5 days of driving. That seems like a lot when you break it down day by day. And that's just driving straight. So let's go over to a better route planner and see what that looks like with charging spots. It's not that bad. This is only with fast charging. The biggest stop is 18 minutes. Then there's a 17-minute one, and then there's 7 stops in total. And that's fast charging. So basically I could stop somewhere and, grab a bite to eat or have to explore on foot, and my charging is covered. So, and that I really don't need that because I'll be camping and charging the car overnight. So the other option, as opposed to doing the entire island, is kind of staying at the bottom portion of the island. So on the southern coast, there is a lot more attractions than the northern side. I don't want to have a schedule because basically when you're on a loop, you don't have a choice but to complete that loop. If I'm staying on the bottom end, it's like saying let's going to from Reykjavik to Vik to Hof, staying on that southern coast. I'm not too worried about, I can just drive back anytime I want. That's what I'm kind of struggling with, is in terms of, do I want to do the entire island and kind of have a little bit of pressure of making sure I get back on time on Friday and doing a lot of driving in a day, as opposed to kind of just chilling a little bit and really exploring the southern coast, taking the time to really shoot some good content, as well as take some videos, doing all that stuff. That's the reason I'm kind of going for. So I just want to take a second and let you guys know that this video is sponsored by MAGBAK. Now, they have tons of awesome Tesla accessories, mainly rim case. It's an amazing product where Teslas are really known for their curb rash. It's hard to see a Tesla without curb rash, and they've basically come up with this ingenious solution that not only will it hide curb rash if you already have it, but if you have curb rash while you have these installed, basically all you have to do is, it's a section part that goes over your wheel, and whatever damage you get, you take off that one section and you replace it, and your wheels look good as new. And the best part is they've just dropped their prices from $249 all the way down to $149. Head over there and use promo code NortonTesla for 15% off. All right, back to the video. So when planning a trip like this, obviously the best thing to do is do a lot of research and a lot of planning. In terms of that's how I kind of approach things. Obviously people are different, but like for me, I like to do a lot of planning. So as you can see, I've used Google, and that's kind of helped me kind of get a lay of the land, see how far things are exactly from each other. It's hard to say from just a picture. So use Google just to see how far towns are from each other and exactly how much driving there's involved. I use a better route planner more as a pre-planning tool. I know you can use it while you're actually driving and connect to it through your car, but I find I prefer Tesla navigation because obviously it's right in the car. It's made for that. So I do like a better route planner for pre-planning, just to get an idea of where the chargers are, how long the charging stops will be. Another app I like to use is PlugShare. Now there's a few others like it. I just prefer PlugShare. What basically this tells you is where all the chargers are. So for example, in Iceland, there's 9 Tesla superchargers. Basically, those are strategically placed along Ring Road. And then there's an additional 150 chargers throughout the island. So that is quite a lot when you consider the population and density of Iceland. And for my trip, I don't think I'm going to have any issues looking for chargers. Between the chargers at the camping spots and Tesla superchargers, I'm pretty sure there's going to be chargers everywhere I look. So I'm not too concerned about having to plan routes in relation to chargers. So that's one good thing. So when I first started planning my trip to Iceland, I was kind of looking at guided tours and stuff like that, but I was kind of really overwhelmed with the amount of choices and options there were. And I was kind of came to a quick realization that I kind of wanted to do things on my own, at least at my own pace. That's where I then looked to renting a car, and that's when Tesla came in. And then once I was there, I kind of found you can actually buy itineraries where basically you rent the car, they'll give you an itinerary and you just follow at your own pace. And I'm like, why would I pay for that when I can probably get an AI to do it for me? So that's what I did. So I turned to Grok, which is the AI tool from X. Now, the reason I like Grok over the other ones like ChatGPT and Gemini is Grok has access to real-time websites as well as posts on X. So the information you're getting is really current and actually will reference those pages on your answers. So if you have any questions, you can just click on it and it'll go back to the actual website that's pulled this information from. So it's really good that way. So why don't we go ahead and show you exactly how I got Grok to kind of really do an itinerary for me, which is your mind will be blown. All right, so my first prompt is going to be, I'm traveling to Iceland. I'm arriving on Monday, March 17th at 5:50 a.m. and departing Friday, March 21st at 3:50 p.m. I'm renting a Tesla Model Y and camping in that Tesla. My goal of the trip is to visit the most popular landscapes and to shoot travel videos. Please provide me with an itinerary for my trip, which includes camping sites that have electricity to charge the Tesla and are open in March. That's one thing to consider because campsites are not open year-round most are not open year-round in Iceland, obviously because of the heavy winters. So most of them are open like May, June onwards. You gotta really look for the ones that are open year-round. Anyway, so let's see what it gives me. Basically gives me a perfect itinerary. So we got day one, tells me what I gotta do morning, late afternoon, evening, places to visit as well as where I'm going to stay. So now that I have a base itinerary, I kind of go in and kind of customize it exactly what I want. One of the things I want to add is I want to go to Grindavik, which is where the volcano is. So I got to add that to day one. Now notice I say please because when the AIs take over, they might spare me. So as you can see, it gives a really detailed itinerary, complete with what sites to see, where I'm going to be in the morning, where I'm going to be in the evening, and where I'm going to camp. So it's really great. Now going back to my earlier question of whether I should kind of stick around to one area or do the entire island, I'm going to ask Grok to basically give me an itinerary of what it's going to look like if I do the entire island. Now, obviously with this itinerary, there's no time-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Grok to update this with travel times, distance, as well as hours driven. So then it goes ahead and adds that. So on day one, it's 5 hours. On day two, it's 3.5 hours. On day three, it's 6 hours. On day four, it's another 5 hours. And day five is 4 hours. So that is a lot of driving when you think about it. So then I might as well just ask Grok what it thinks I should do. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it, should I do an itinerary that goes around the Ring Road or the first option, which was the southern and east coast? Okay, so Grok is telling me to do the southern itinerary. Now, obviously, time frame is the big one, and then weather a little more favorable in that area, as well as just a little more infrastructure and more stuff to see. So there you go. I just saved a few $100s by using an AI tool rather than paying for someone else's itinerary. And the benefit of that also, other than saving money, is that, I can customize it to exactly the things that I want to do, the things I want to see, and more of exactly what I need from the, or want from this trip. As much as I've been doing a lot of planning, I'm really kind of struggling in terms of whether I should do the entire ring road, which is basically the entirety of the island, or just kind of stick around to the southern coast and really take my time and kind of like, chill, hang out, and just, explore that one section, as opposed to kind of being stressed in terms of like having to get back on time to the airport. Because basically what happens is if you choose to do a loop, you got to finish the loop. So that's one thing I'm concerned about, but I'd love to hear, I kind of need your guys' opinion or thoughts on this. If you guys have been to Iceland, if you know people who have been to Iceland, or hey, if you're watching this from Iceland, leave a comment below so I know, give me some advice, let me know what I should do, all right? I would love to hear from you guys. All right, so this has been episode 2. Now, I should have another video coming out in a few weeks, which I can basically talk about the camping, basically picking campsites, as well as, the logistics of camping in a Tesla Model Y. So stay tuned for that. And if there's any other topics that you want me to cover, I might include that in that video or do another video as well. So definitely let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, because after that, it's going to be in Iceland. All right, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss videos. I should have about a couple more videos just in the planning stages of going on this trip, and of course the trip itself. So if you want to stick around for this Icelandic adventure, definitely subscribe and stick around, because I really want you guys on this journey with me. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. In the meantime, drive safe and drive electric. So then it adds, so then it goes ahead. Because one thing, so in other than that, I use a so other than that, I use so the great thing about ice. So now the reason I love now the reason I love now the reason I love so I spoke a bit about my so I spoke a bit about in maps to get an idea of the terrain and familiar. Today is episode 2 of the Icelandic Northern Tesla experience.